So after my Why Every Pop Star Has a Bad Girl Phase video, so many of you asked, okay, Anna, what about the guys though? And honestly, you're right. Even though I touched on Bieber a little bit in the video, we know he wasn't the first good boy gone bad male pop star. So I delved into it and I realized male pop stars have their own unique version of this formula that's kind of different than their female counterparts. If the bad girl phase is about reclaiming power through rebellion, then the bad boy formula is about proving dominance through transformation. From Elvis to Bieber, from Zayn to Usher, every generation of male pop stars has used rebellion to break free, evolve their image, and redefine what it means to be desirable. But here's the thing, it didn't start on social media or with a mugshot. It started decades ago with a man who shook his hips on national TV and terrified an entire generation of parents by replicating what Black artists were doing before and during his time. Hey friends, I'm Ana The Marketeer, your friendly neighborhood marketeer baddie. I break down the branding and marketing of celebrities, creators, and campaigns so we could both learn, grow, and expand our brands together. And today we're going to break down how rebellion, chaos, and redemption became the marketing blueprint behind some of pop culture's biggest male icons. But first, I know many of you watching this video are not subscribed to my channel. If you've been liking my videos, please hit subscribe right now to support the channel and get weekly breakdowns just like this. Your girl is trying to reach 20K. Every click counts. I see you. You better click that button. And if you join my newsletter Marketeer's Memo, you'll get a free download of my authentic branding checklist with immediate tips to elevate your current branding while staying yourself. Link is in the description. Also, you can now listen to these episodes on Spotify as well. That link's in the description too. Now, let's break it down. The origin of the bad boy brand. Whenever people mention the first modern good boy gone bad rebel, a lot of times they mention Michael Jackson or even before that, Elvis Presley. When Elvis hit TV screens with his slick hair and hip shakes, parents called him indecent. Preachers called him the devil. But for teens at the time, he represented freedom. Before Elvis, male musicians were entertainers. After Elvis, they were dangerous. However, it is very important to mention Elvis didn't invent rebellion. He mainstreamed it. Long before 1956, rhythm and blues artists were already living the bad boy archetype. Larry Williams, often called rock and roll's original bad boy, was notorious for his wild life, violence, and drug use. Wynonie Harris, a jump blues singer from the late 1940s, shocked audiences with his risque lyrics and hard partying lifestyle. Little Richard blurred gender lines with flamboyant performances and a sound that felt dangerous to conservative America. Chuck Berry brought swagger, teenage rebellion, and a rebellious voice that wasn't an act, because his legal troubles were real. While these R&B and early rock figures weren't marketed as pop stars in a segregated industry, they absolutely shaped the template Elvis would later bring to a mainstream white audience. He did not create the bad boy brand. He just sold it to white America. In the 1950s, Elvis wasn't just singing. He was selling sex, confidence, and rebellion, taking the essence of those performers I mentioned before and bringing it into his own branding and marketing strategy. And surely he was doing what a lot of good brands do, embodying the feeling his audience wanted. In that controversy, it was marketing gold. Every headline calling him inappropriate only amplified his fame because, as the old saying goes, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Controversy equals attention, and attention equals fame. That simple formula became the foundation for every male pop brand, and even some of those artists outside the pop genre that came after him. Mick Jagger, Prince, George Michael, Michael Jackson, all of them took that seed of rebellion and made it their own. Elvis did more than sing rock and roll. He branded rebellion as aspirational. Why pop stars have to rebel. For male pop stars, rebellion isn't a detour, it's a rite of passage. They start safe, polished, and profitable. The guy moms love, the teen girls crush on, the industry milks dry, but that only lasts so long. Eventually, the audience outgrows the innocence, and so does the artist. The bad boy pivot serves three strategic goals. Number one, escape the teen idol box. To grow up, they need to shock their audience into seeing them differently. Number two, 2 claim creative control. Rebellion signals authenticity. It says, I'm not a puppet anymore. And number 3, age with their audience. Their fans grow up. Their image has to too. It's the difference between being a product and becoming a persona. And nothing sells as well as a transformation no one sees coming. That bad boy formula step by step. It's become so common at this point that we can clearly see there's a step-by-step strategy that turns a male pop star from the boy next door into that sexy bad boy that we all love. It's similar to the bad girl formula, of course, but there are some unique differences. So let's look at it step by step. Step 1, the image flip. This is where the clean-cut image dies. Hair changes, tattoos appear, the fashion darkens, the body language hardens. For example, Zayn ditches the coordinated One Direction outfits for cigarette smoking and silent stares, getting tattoos, etc. Michael Jackson trades sequenced innocence for black leather and sharp choreography. And Justin Timberlake swaps bubblegum pop and that curly ramen noodle hair for sleek R&B suits, a more shaved head when he got into Justified era, and some smirks, a little sly, smirky look, you know? It's symbolic rebellion. Every detail says, I'm not who you thought I was. Step 2, the public rebellion. The next phase is the scandal. They start breaking the rules publicly or privately. Bieber gets arrested. Usher's relationship confessionals and cheating scandals. MJ shifts to darker themes. Elvis immoral dancing. It's messy, but it's magnetic. Because when fans see their idols unravel, it feels human. We lean in. We want to understand the chaos. And from a branding lens, that chaos does something critical. It turns adoration into obsession. Step 3, the reinvention album. Every bad boy rebrand comes with a musical rebirth. The sound matures, the lyrics deepen, the visuals get cinematic, and usually there's a little bit more sex with everything as well. Think of Usher's Confessions, MJ's Bad, Bieber's Purpose, Zayn's Mind of Mine, Justin Timberlake's Future Sex Love Sounds. You can even go early to Justified. Chris Brown, I think, definitely falls into this Good Boy Gone Bad thing. Definitely would put him in here too. And truly, everyone marks a shift in their career. The boy is gone. The man has arrived. And it's not just about rebellion, it's about redefinition. The music is no longer about proving fame. It's about proving substance. Step 4, the redemption arc. Here's where the narrative flips again. After chaos comes clarity. After rebellion comes redemption. The bad boy grows up, finds purpose, and reclaims his crown. Just like Justin Bieber leaning into spirituality and faith. Usher starts mentoring new artists. MJ becomes a global humanitarian. Elvis' legacy evolves from scandal to legend. Timberlake turns into the family man next door. Many of them been through hell, and that journey humanizes them. It's not just character development, it's brand development. Iconic case studies. So let's dive into some examples of some of these icons I mentioned beforehand and just look at how that rebellion changed their careers forever. So looking at Elvis Presley, the modern blueprint. His original brand was the all-American Southern boy with good manners and gospel roots, a polite performer with mainstream appeal. His rebrand, Elvis leaned into everything America feared, sex appeal, rhythm, and rebellion. His hip-shaking performances on live TV scandalized adults but electrified youth culture. And the outcome was the controversy made him unstoppable. He became a cultural phenomenon, the king of rock and roll, and the blueprint for every rebel brand after him. Michael Jackson, from boy wonder to bad. When he was starting out in the industry, Michael's brand was the sweet, wide-eyed prodigy from the Jackson 5, known for innocence and universal appeal. When he rebranded with Bad, MJ intentionally flipped the narrative. Black leather, attitude, and control. The visuals screamed independence. The music flexed dominance. And the outcome? He redefined pop superstardom and solidified himself as an icon who could evolve artistically without losing his audience. Usher and the Confessions era. His original brand was the charming, dance-driven R&B heartthrob, smooth, clean, and radio-friendly. After he rebranded with Confessions, it exposed his flaws and personal struggles, blurring the line between artist and human. The image became raw, masculine and emotional. The outcome of this rebrand was the honesty struck gold. Confession sold over 20 million copies and made confessional vulnerability sexy for R&B men, which definitely influenced the likes of Drake and Weeknd, who came after him, just to name a few. Justin Timberlake with The Polished Rebel. His original brand was the squeaky clean frontman of NSYNC. Blonde curls, coordinated outfits, safe appeal. He rebranded with Justified and even more so with Future Sex, Love Sounds, embracing R&B, edge, and independence. He traded pop choreography for sensual minimalism. And the outcome is that rebrand gave him longevity. He escaped the boy band curse and became a respected solo artist and cultural mainstay. Zayn Malik, the Silent One. His original brand was the mysterious but compliant member of One Direction, stylized and in sync with the group. When he left the world's biggest boy band at its peak, his solo visuals were dark, moody, and minimalist. That was his rebrand. He didn't do interviews, there was no apologies, there was just quiet confidence. And the outcome resulted in him losing mass market appeal, but he gained artistic respect and a loyal niche fan base that valued his authenticity. And last but not least, Justin Bieber and his redemption story. His original brand, of course, we all know that angel-faced baby YouTube prodigy turned global pop sweetheart. When he rebranded, it was kind of a rebellion of teenage angst vibes. There was public breakdowns, tabloid drama, and arrests that shifted him from a beloved teen idol to a cautionary tale. But with purpose, he channeled faith and maturity, crafting a redemptive narrative. And this has resulted in Bieber rebuilding his reputation and evolving from pop chaos to pop legend, proving even the most dramatic downfalls can be turned into growth arcs. So real quickly, let's talk about why does this always work for these artists, male and female? What's the psychology behind this bad boy, bad girl phase? Truly, the bad boy formula works because it taps into our favorite story arc, the fall and rise. Rebellion gives us drama. Confession gives us empathy. Redemption gives us closure. It's the same pattern you see in every great narrative, from literature to celebrity branding. We don't love perfection. We love transformation, because transformation tells us that chaos can lead to clarity, that mistakes can make us memorable. And in a world where fame is fleeting, transformation is the only way to stay relevant. Every bad boy is a marketing masterclass in emotional evolution. So in conclusion, the bad boy formula is timeless and likely will continue to repeat again and again and again for the eternity of pop music. And why that is because rebellion grabs attention, confession earns empathy, and reinvention builds legacy. It's not just about breaking the rules, it's about rewriting your own narrative in public. So who did it best? And also, who do you think is next for their bad boy phase? I'd love you to drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. If you love this breakdown, please check out my bad girl phase video, the one that preceded this, where I talk about similar things, but from the female pop star point of view. Don't forget to like, subscribe, join Marketeer's Memo if you like content like this. I dive into some concepts a little bit more in the newsletter just to help you be able to bring the lessons from these videos into your own brand in actionable steps. I give like tips, some, step-by-step things that you could do to help elevate your own brand, no matter what your business is. Follow me on TikTok, IG at Ana The Marketeer. And if you love personal one-on-one consulting about branding or marketing, you can find my email in the description below. Until next time, Marketeers, stay rebellious, stay honest, and most importantly, stay you. Do 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 do.